Hey, thanks for tuning in. Today on Buzzing with the Beards, I got a call from my neighbor. He lives about a mile down the road, and he's a fellow Jeep enthusiast. And as you can see behind me, he's getting ready to do some work on this LJ. So you may ask, well, what's an LJ, TJ, YJ, CJ, whatever? Well, that's part of what we're doing here on this channel. So I said, hey, would you care if I come down? He's getting ready to throw it on the lift, pull the tires, wheels off, and put a lift kit on this thing. So real quick, I just kind of want to take you guys around this deal here and show you and talk to you real quick about what an LJ is. So what Jeep did was realize back, late 90s, they came out with what was called the TJ. And that was the Wrangler. The original Jeep Wrangler actually started with the YJ, and that's the square headlight version. A lot of guys and the Jeep enthusiasts will tell you, well, it's got square headlights, so it's not a real Jeep. I'm like, well, I beg to differ. My first Jeep was actually the YJ Wrangler. And so those started in 1985 and ran through 1995, 86 really, and then started. That was after the CJ version. So those had leaf springs, things like that. And so come up into the 90s and they realized, gosh, we just need to update some things a little bit, especially with the suspension. So then Jeep came out with what was called the TJ in 1997. So there were no Jeeps in 96. And they ran the Jeep TJ series, and we'll say /LJ, because that's what we're looking at here. They went back to a round headlight up front, so you'll notice that, the difference. They also went to a coil spring suspension versus the leaf spring suspension. So I hope all of you following the channel already know what the difference is between a coil spring and a leaf spring. But anyways, your suspension up underneath, much smoother ride, more articulation, things like that. Roadworthiness, much better when it comes to the handling. So anyway, they came out with what was called the LJ, as kind of a brother or sister version of the TJ. Now, it only ran for a couple years. It came out in 2004 and it ran through 2006, and then they ended production of the TJ/LJ generation. And then 2007, that's when the JK generation came out. And that's really what has taken Jeep and put it on a massive growth. So that's what you're seeing all over the roads today. But one of my favorite is definitely this generation, and for many reasons. So one of the big things you'll notice with these LJs is it's a long Jeep. So the nomenclatures, they all stand for different things, and doesn't really stand for long. But it's a TJ, but it has a longer wheelbase. So they look a little goofy sometimes. Definitely when a stock version like this one that's sitting behind me. So my buddy Will, he's decided to throw a lift kit and some tires on this thing, and that's what we're doing today. So I just wanted to record this real quick, get kind of a couple snapshots and pictures of it before we throw the lift kit on, and that way you can kind of see what it looks like before and after. Now, he found this thing down in Florida. This is like a needle in a haystack because there's not very many of these made, only 2 years of production. And if you can find a Rubicon version of one of these, it's worth a lot of money, and don't get rid of it. This is a shout out to my buddy Ben Messina, head soccer coach at Lincoln College. He didn't even realize what he had one day until I was over there helping him work on something. I got up underneath, I said, do you know what this is? He had no idea. So that was a fun little story we'll tell on another day. Stay tuned, guys.